What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Fortnite. When you get your very first elemental weapon in-game, you're going to see that an elemental weapon will have an effect against various elemental mobs. Now, as you approach into Canny Valley, you will start to see more and more elemental husks. And then when you get into Twine Peaks, elemental husks will be a normal appearance on every map. Now we know by looking at our perks on our weapons that, say, fire, for example, is going to be effective against nature and weak to water. Water weapons are going to be effective against fire and weak to nature. Nature weapons are going to be effective against water and weak to fire. And energy weapons are going to be effective against all elemental types. Now, to clarify that information just a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and refer to Whitesushi's Fortnite loadout, or what I like to call the Fortnite Bible. There is a link down in the description below. Now, fire enemies we know are effective against nature, so fire weapons, are going to do 100% damage against nature mobs. Fire against fire enemies is going to do 67% normal damage. And then fire against water enemies is going to do 25% damage. Now, a water weapon against fire enemies will do 100% damage. A water weapon against water enemies will do 67% damage. And a water weapon against nature will do 25% damage. A nature weapon versus water will do 100% damage. Nature on nature, 67% damage. And then nature on fire will only do 25% of its normal damage. Now, energy weapons are good to an extent, as energy weapons, of course, are effective against all elemental types. However, energy weapons do not do 100% damage against elemental husks. Energy weapons will do 67% of their damage against any of the elements. So fire, water, or nature will get 67% of the energy damage done to that particular husk. Now, an element that, or a weapon that has no element at all against an elemental husk is only going to do 50% of the normal damage. So you're instantly getting cut in half by using a normal weapon versus an elemental husk. So to sum it all up, using the proper element versus the enemy you are fighting is the way to maximize your damage output. Using the incorrect element versus the enemy you're fighting can be worse than not using an element at all. And then energy damage can be effective, however is not going to be as strong as using the proper counter versus the elemental that's present. Now, taking that one step further, you really want to think about what type of building material you are using against various elemental mobs. If you know that fire elementals are coming, you do not want to use wood, as wood is going to take 200% damage from fire mobs. Stone and metal will take the normal 100% damage. Now, water mobs are effective against stone structures, so water mobs will do 200% damage to stone buildings, and then only 100% damage to wood or metal. Nature enemies, of course, are effective against metal, so they'll do 200% normal damage to any metal building, 100% to wood and stone. So if you have nature enemies coming, although metal technically has the most HP as a wall itself, the nature mobs will do 200% damage against these buildings. Hopefully this helps everyone understand some of the basics of elemental weapons and elemental mobs in Fortnite Save the World. If you have any questions or comments, or any guides that you would like to see about Fortnite, please let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you all a ton. I appreciate everyone watching. Click that like button and please subscribe to the channel, and I will be back soon with more Fortnite. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.